Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and don't worry, I know I haven't posted a video in a few days. I have just been super busy. I have been teaching. You guys know I'm a professional musician and teacher. I've been working at a summer music camp that a ensemble that I play in hosts. I've been doing stuff around the house. I've been doing more exercising. I know it might not look like it, but the past few days I've been bike riding, and I think I went about 6 to 10 miles each day, going for walks and trying to do push-ups and sit-ups. So I'm just trying to get in a little bit better shape, and that takes up some time at night, and then I just have other stuff to do. So I finally got to the range today, and I reviewed two guns. I reviewed two guns, or shot two guns, and got range footage, and I want to share those with you. I was going to shoot a third thing, an integrally suppressed Gemtech AR-15 upper. However, when I was at the range, it started off great. Okay, actually the whole trip was good. But I was there, I was by myself, which is my favorite way to shoot my videos. And there's no distractions, no one talking in the background. But about halfway through of me filming the footage that I need, a large group of people came in with an instructor in the private lanes at the Frisco Gun Club. They weren't loud, obnoxious, dangerous, or anything like that. They were just, of course, talking, and the instructor was trying to help them. So there was a little bit of just kind of noise in the background. So I wasn't able to really do what I wanted to with the suppressed AR-15 upper. So I decided to hold off on that one, and probably I'll go back one night this week, because I can get in there 24 hours a day, and I'll go there when I know there's not going to be anybody else there. But I shot two guns, and I want to show them to you. One of them I promised the owner that I would get done with as quickly as possible. And we'll start with that one first because it was the one that I shot first. And I showed this one to you a few days ago. And this is the Sig Sauer M17X. Okay, so having it here on the workbench, I kind of mentioned, in fact, it's filthy. That's the one thing about this Sig Flat Dark Earth or Coyote Tan coating is that, man, does it get dirty. It wipes off, but it just gets dirty. But I mentioned when I first showed this to you guys that I'm not really sure who the market for this firearm is. Being that it is an M17, you would think that people that would be interested in military firearms would look at this. But it doesn't use the grip module the military uses. It uses their X frame, or X, well, not frame, what do they call it? Their X module, or whatever it is. So you can see it has a different texture and shape to it. And it has a mag well, which the military doesn't use. It doesn't have a manual safety, which I think all SIG P320s should have. But it's not really an M17. The only thing on this that's an M17, I guess you could say, would be the color, but SIGs have made Flat Dark Earth or Coyote Tan guns forever. And the slide. The slide is an M17 slide, so it's from their, I guess it's one of the ones, see, this is supposed to say 320, no. This one is just an M17, so this one has the part number on it. So this is like the military slides, which might interest some people, but if this is what you're interested in, you just probably go ahead and get a real M17. So I don't think it appeals to the military crowd, and I don't think it really appeals to the people that want the X grip module, because a lot of those people are going to want guns that are a little bit more racy, a little bit more tricked out. So this kind of falls in between maybe somebody that's looking for a military gun, maybe somebody that's looking for a good range or competition gun, but I don't think aesthetically it appeals to either side. It has the flat face trigger, so once again, if you're an M17 lover, you're going to want the original trigger face on that. It does come with the M17 sight, which is nice, but the military hasn't officially adopted this. It looks like they're probably going to. I think originally they were going to go with a loopholed Delta Point, but now it looks like they're going to go with this. And these are hard to find by themselves, and they're expensive by themselves. But in this package, it's actually pretty affordable. But I don't know who they're appealing to with this. Okay, so I talked about that. So I think from the onset, I don't think this is going to have a big audience. But let's talk about the way it's shot. This gun exceeded my expectations. It shot really, really well. The gun is very accurate. Now, the P320s, my biggest complaint with every version of the P320, it doesn't matter if it's like a kind of an entry-level one or the M17 or M18 commercial editions or even the more expensive ones that I have reviewed. They all have one flaw, and it has to do with the trigger. And no, it's not the guns go off by themselves thing. It's when you pull this trigger, it's mushy. It's just weird. Like, you get back to what's kind of a wall, and you can pull it back further, and then when it breaks, it's not really like a crisp ping like you get on a Glock or a Smith & Wesson M&P. It feels so anemic. It just, even the sound of it. See, look at that. There's the wall, and you have this little extra, and it's under a lot of tension, and finally it breaks, and man, that just sounds so weak. I've always hated the P320 triggers. Not a single one has ever felt good to me. And people are going to hate me for saying this, but when it comes to a gun like this, a duty gun, I think Glock has the best trigger. Okay, hands down, out of the box. Okay, I know there's aftermarket stuff. They got the best trigger. I like the way they feel. I like how they're consistent from model to model. This just doesn't have that. It's squishy. But let me tell you, if I can manage this trigger well, this gun is very, very accurate. I do pull a few shots. So like almost every group at the range, I would shoot a magazine of 21 rounds through it. I would literally get a group this big at pretty much every single distance, and I'd have 2 or 3 shots that are down here. And you'd see it. Great group, 2 or 3 flyers. And I know it's me because of this trigger. Because my shooting style is I like to ride the reset. I know that's not everyone's style, okay? I totally get it. But for me, I always feel like, especially with Glocks, it's just how I like to stage the trigger. I can get consistent pulls that way, and things are predictable. I can time my shots. So when I ride the reset, I pull the trigger, the gun cycles, and I release it just to where I hear or feel that click, and then I pull it back again. Because it has that weird take-up right after you hit the wall, I end up pulling the gun down just a little bit, and I have to be prepared for that. And even when I try not to ride the reset, and I just pull the trigger back straight, I still occasionally drop the front of the gun. So when I'm shooting fast, I do it. When I'm shooting slow, I do it. But because it groups so well, when I'm able to overcome that, this gun shoots fantastic. Recoil-wise, I know this is going to sound hard to quantify. I've shot a lot of P320s. This one has the lowest recoil by far. It feels like I don't know, it's a very soft shooting gun. I feel like the slide moves a little bit slower than a typical semi-auto, but it's reliable. I had no issues with it, and it's just a nice smooth action. Of course, it has the full-length slide, so you have that extra weight, plus you have the red dot. I feel like the recoil system in this is well-balanced, and it's a well-balanced gun. It shoots really, really well. So I thought I was going to go into this review going, it's another P320. I mean, it's cool because of what it is, and I did want to try it out. I always want to review every gun. And I almost always go to the range, and I have to learn not to do this. I always go to the range with expectations. Every time. I always go to the range with expectations because I'll look at a gun, I'll handle it here on the workbench and go, yeah, I'm going to like it, I'm not going to like it. And often, the gun does not meet my expectations, and that can be good or bad. So I really thought I was going to have a pretty neutral experience with this gun, but it was great. This was a great gun. It shoots way better than I think it looks, and this is a gun that I would recommend to somebody that doesn't care about the model, if that makes any sense. You know, most of the time when it comes to SIGs, because they offer the Legion series, they offer the X series, they offer the M17, M18 series, people buy particular models for particular reasons. If you're looking for a race gun, you're going to go a certain direction. If you're looking for a military gun, you're going for a certain direction. If you're looking for a target gun, you're going to go in a certain direction. And this gun doesn't fit any of those roles. It's like kind of a blend and balance of all of them. So it doesn't appeal, in my opinion, to a lot of shooters. But if you're looking for a range gun and could care less about what model it is, you need to try this one out. This one is really good, really good. My complaints would be the trigger, the way it breaks, like I showed you, and the fact it has a flat face trigger. So if this one was mine, I would probably take the fire control unit out, and I would replace the trigger with more of a traditional M17 one. But everything else on it works. I mean, the magwell's nice. These magwells work great. The magazines work great. 21 rounds, well balanced. Man, it was a great shooting experience. As I said, it exceeded my expectations. It's not going to get a 5 out of 5 star review, but it's going to get 4.5 stars, maybe, or more, maybe a 4.75 when I look at the range footage. It worked really well. Very nice offering, and it's good. It's good. I like that one. All right, so the other gun that I reviewed today is a gun that I have reviewed in the past, and I talked about how I lost the original video. And I reached out to my friend Jack number 1, and I said, hey, I shot this gun in the past. Would you let me borrow it again to re-review it? And he said yes. And man, am I glad that I did. Because I don't remember the original review. I wish I could find it and be able to see it again. I wish I had access to my old channel. I think I remember having some problems with the ammunition with this gun, and I think I shot it okay, and I think my opinion on it was kind of mixed, because it shoots 22 TCM, and I saved 1 round for the review, okay? And I was wrong. I said in the past, this is a 9mm or a neck down to a 22, and that is not the case. This is actually, see if I can get in focus. This is actually a 5.56 cartridge that is shortened and neck down to a 22. So essentially this is like 5.56 short, because it has to be that way for the pressure, because there's a lot of powder here and a little projectile. And this gun is so awesome in that it's so loud and it throws a huge fireball, but it recoils like a 22. And it's a lot of fun. And I'm a better shooter now than I think I was when I originally reviewed it. And this gun is a tack driver. It's a tack driver. I mean, for me now, this gun is awesome. This gun is awesome. I am blown away by it. And I don't remember shooting it as well as I did. The gun functioned great. The only issue I had was with one of those rounds, it didn't extract. But it was actually when I was kind of testing out the sights. So I didn't catch that one on camera. But that was the only issue I had. Just a great gun. I mean, super, super duper accurate. And Jack also let me borrow the 9mm barrel, which is what's in it right now, because after I reviewed this in 22 TCM, I reviewed it with the 9mm barrel. So, but I just did like a 7-yard group and ran hollow points through it, because I think the advantage to this gun, being that it is a double stack, and this is the same magazine, you can put 22 TCM and 9mm in the same mag. I mean, not the same time, obviously, but it's a double stack, so the grip is thicker, as you can see. So it's a double stack 1911. It's not a 2011, okay? And I've been raked over the coals about this when I first reviewed this gun. I called it a 2011, and it's not, because it doesn't have the removable grip module. It's not based off of the staccato design. It's a double stack 1911, and the whole frame is metal. And this thing in 22 TCM recoils like a 22, and in 9mm, this thing recoils so sweet, it's so light. It's not built as nice. It's not as pretty. It's not finished as nice as other 1911s. But this thing ran like a top. And even with the 9mm barrel in it, this thing is super accurate. I mean, this is one of those guns that makes me look like a better shooter than I actually am. And that could be because I have really been working on my marksmanship and working on some techniques personally. And I really think my shooting has improved a lot. And this gun was awesome. Both these guns are fantastic. This gun did not group as well because I always had those couple of flyers, but it's because of the trigger. The trigger, this one is really good. It just, let me see here. I should have put in the 22 TCM barrel. In fact, I can probably do that, and I'm going to show you something about it for me that I don't like. So, whoop. All right, so let's take this thing apart, and I'm going to show you, because when I put this back together with that barrel, you're going to hear a sound. One second here. So I got to take off the recoil spring, because this has that full-length guide rod, and I find that the guide rod comes out easier with the barrel bushing out. So let me get the other barrel here. And you do have to change the recoil spring as well. So this is the 22 TCM barrel. And okie doke. And then let me get the slide on this thing. Okie doke. And where'd I put that? There it is. Okay, now, here it is with the 22 TCM barrel in it. And it doesn't sound or feel solid, but it's because the recoil spring is so light in it. Because it's literally a 22. I mean, it has like this clankiness to it that I don't like. And that slide is so easy to rack. I mean, I'm barely putting any energy on it, and it racks like that. So that's the thing I don't like about it. It feels cheap, but I don't know if there's anything you can really do about it because of the nature of the caliber. But it's powerful enough to cycle the action. It's a really cool gun. It is a really, really cool gun, and I really enjoyed shooting this. So, yeah, it just doesn't have the right sound. It sounds solid. But it ran great, and it's super accurate, and it is such a great gun. I mean, this thing is pretty darn awesome. Pretty darn awesome. And I know that 22 TCM is not going to be everyone's favorite caliber, just because it's kind of hard to get. I think Arms Corps is the only people that make it. So if you want to buy this gun and shoot that caliber through it, you got to buy the ammo from them. I don't know of any other manufacturer that makes it. Who knows? Maybe there is. But getting the 9mm barrel is the way to go because it shoots sweet at 9mm too. It's a great double stack 9mm 1911. So there you go. That's what I experienced at the range today. I think that's it because, as I said, I was going to shoot that integrally suppressed AR-15 upper, but there were just too many people there. If I'm going to review a silencer, I need the range a little bit quieter. And speaking of reviewing silencers, I am going to, hopefully, there's a company that has reached out to me that you guys know about, and they make suppressors, and they might be sending me one for review. So I had my friend who's an SOT send his information to them, and they're sending me one suppressor. So, or supposed to be, okay? Hopefully. We'll see. We'll see what happens. And I'm trying to go through my head how I'm going to do this review. I had to give them like a little outline of kind of what I would do, how I would compare it. but I really want to do well on it because I've never really reviewed a suppressor as a standalone product. I have reviewed guns with suppressors, and in the next few months, you're going to see some reviews of integrally suppressed guns that I've reviewed. But I've never done a product review with just a suppressor, and I really want to branch out into this. So I'm really thinking about, I really had a good experience with that little Garmin chronograph. I think I'm going to have to buy one of those and include that information in my range reports. I don't know what else I can get because I don't know how to record the suppressor, audio-wise, for it to really show what it's capable of. So I might have to do that from the perspective, as I always say, from an average gun guy, just what I hear, what I experience. But I'm trying to kind of, in my mind, formulate that to make sure it's a quality review with good information, but it's done differently than you see all of the other suppressor reviews, where they go out there and they just show you the raw data of they, shoot a gun unsuppressed and then suppressed and show you the decibel level and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of boring. I want to do something more than that because I don't think those reviews really do suppressors justice. Because if you're just looking at data, it doesn't always help because things like the tone of a suppressor can mean more than the actual decibel level. So if you have a suppressor that has a very high pitch to it, it could be softer but sound louder. If you have a lower tone and it's loud, it sounds softer to your ear. So anyway, that's what I got going. And of course, my dog always has to try to get into every Texas Gun Vault 2 video. So she's outside barking away because she hears me in here talking. So anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. Sorry I haven't posted too much, but I'm going to be doing better. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful 4th of July week, and I'll make a few more videos. But I've been trying to pump out these videos as fast as I possibly can. So thanks again for joining me here in the garage. And if you watch to the end, what's the word of the day? The word of the day is awesome. Awesome. I know I've used that word before, but I had an awesome day at the range with both these great pistols. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.